Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and we're going to do an update on the Vermibag Max. Now, this is a system that at one point we had quite the fruit fly issue with, due to stuff going on in the basement. It wasn't the system's fault itself, but they got in there and they sort of multiply because they can't get out, so they just sort of keep moving around and multiplying, and they can't get out. They're not getting any of my traps that I have. And a couple months ago, I set one of my traps inside the bin itself. And since then, it's really the numbers of fruit flies have come down. We've started adding food again, and it looks like it's getting back on a normal. But we still have an issue where I added a massive amount of cardboard. I mean, I just added, it's probably 12 inches of cardboard on top of it to try to suppress these fruit flies. They'd be able to get out, but not maybe back in to lay their eggs or whatever and have their larvae. But it still has a couple issues with it with the fruit flies, but it's not nearly what it was in the past. But it's really time to start getting this bin moving and start churning through this paper that's in there and more food. So we're going to do another large feeding this time. We're going to see how the bin is doing and maybe even refresh the supply of the container that's capturing all those fruit flies in there that I've had. It looks like it's pretty full right now, so I might need to refresh it and add a little bit more material to kind of keep getting them to go in there and die. But let's go take a look, see how it's doing, see how much food we need to add, and see how we can get this system working better. Now, I have debated on actually doing a harvest from the bottom and dumping that on top to kind of keep the moisture in, but I think what I might do is I might just put the tarp back over top of it and see if that helps. We'll just put that tarp over, and that'll keep that moisture in and it won't evaporate out so quickly. So let's go and take a look and see how the system is doing. All right, so here's our system here. Let's just open this up. As I said, there might be a couple fruit flies that come out, but it's been pretty low when I've checked on it in the past. I was still doing my vacuuming that I've had, but I've had a couple that come out usually, but not too many. This is our container over here in this corner. As you could tell, or maybe, I don't know if you can see in there, but it's almost black. All those little dots, those are all dead fruit flies. So I might have to refresh that later. If I forget to put it in, by the way, I have been remembering to do it after I've closed up the bin and I see it sitting there. But it looks like this is one of the issues that I've had, I think, and why the fruit flies kind of come back. You see this hole in the center here. This hole is, 6 to 8 inches deep, and that's where the food was. So everything's collapsing down in there, but it's not really collapsing in. So that's part of the problem, is that these bugs then can get to the food that I had in there. So we're going to just sort of empty this out. This is why it's really dry and feels kind of funky a little bit. That's okay, though, for now. But look at this. We're already down to the food area. Let's just see here. I'm seeing some fruit flies come out from down here. This is what I was expecting because of the fact the paper did not collapse into the center here. So we've got this food area, which looks really good and has worms in it. So it's doing well down there. These are the red wigglers that I've got. But this material looks pretty good. Problem is we need to get this cardboard in there, and we need to start mixing this in and start getting this to dissolve as well. We've got too much paper in here now. The fruit flies will eventually take care of themselves now that we've got the system a little bit more stable. But we need to really start getting this paper to dissolve into here so that way I have more room. The other option, as I said before, was to go in here and actually dig up or underneath and actually harvest and then add that material back to the top here that'll hold in that moisture. But what we're going to do for now is let's just throw some of this stuff in here. This stuff is kind of hard. Let's throw this in the center here. This in the center. Let's just dig to this side right over here. You can just see this material is just how deep this cardboard is. This as deep as my hands right there. We're still not to the bottom of it. You can see, and this has a little bit of has got a little bit of dust in there from that diatomaceous earth, I think, that I added in here. So that's still in here. So I got to be careful here. Actually, I'm going to grab my mask. It's all over my gloves now. Give me just a second here. So if you're working with this stuff, I highly recommend. This is an N95 mask. I'm going to put that on. So I'm going to sound a little muffled here. But it's necessary because I don't really want to damage my lungs. And this stuff is kind of powdery. But you can see this is much deeper than the center section now. I can get way down in here. This is a good 10 to 12 inches down before we get down here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to feed on this side. We're going to do a massive feeding over here. If we can dig this up a little bit more. A little bug on the side there. Another one. So as you can tell, there's still some fruit flies in here. Unfortunately, I just can't seem to get rid of them out of this system. I think it's partially because of the fact it dries up so much and allows them to easily get through this cardboard down to the bottom. They seem to be going right through the diatomaceous earth that's dry, even though it's powdery. But I got to keep feeding here. I got to keep these worms going. So we're going to add in banana peels, coffee grounds, some of our some carrots, some clementine peels. We're adding a massive amount of food in here again, because I really do want to keep these bins going. I really need to start using up this food. I've got a ton of it. There's also, it looks like, some lemon in there, or sorry, lime. This is, as you can tell, is frozen. So we're just going to rotate this 90 degrees, really set it up there, and we're going to cover this. We don't need any of my crushed eggshell, by the way, because you can see this diatomaceous earth. This is a diatomaceous earth in itself is a grit for the worm, so they already have grit. Now, I'm seeing more and more fruit flies come out here as I'm going. I haven't seen this many come out before. I think because I dug down here, I loosened them up and gave them the way out, which is okay. I've got some traps down here. Hopefully they'll take care of them. And we'll put this trap back in here in this corner. So we're making this a quick one because there are quite a few fruit flies coming out here, more than when I was just checking the bin from the top. And now what I do want to do is add some water. So this is going to just kind of clamp everything down a little bit. Yeah, just try to get these microbes going on here. There are a lot of fruit flies coming out right now. And this bin, I might actually empty it out. I do need a new bin for my, or a bin, not a new bin, but I need a bin for my African night crawlers, as they have been starting to escape the system that I had them in, which worries me. And by the way, I just want to say, this bin or bag system primarily has cardboard in it. I can take off my mask now. Primarily has cardboard in it. So this is not food related, I think. I mean, there was no real food left in there. This is just cardboard. And this is what I've seen. I've seen where these fruit flies can get into cardboard, and for some reason, they seem to be able to multiply just in cardboard. I've seen this also in some of the boxes that I have, where I'm finding that they are multiplying in there as well. So, you know, you got to be kind of careful with this and see how things are going. But, you know, we're going to add some water here to the top, and then we're going to put this tarp back on, and we're going to try to get this bin going again. If not, we're going to empty this out. We'll add the African night crawlers with some fresh bedding, and hopefully that'll take care of this, and it'll be going and fully functioning. And those African night crawlers, they know how to consume food. They are fast at it, as we could tell from the other videos that I've had. So now what we're going to do here is we're just going to put this cover on here. So this is going to kind of keep some of that moisture in. I've found that this helps sometimes with this bin because it does dry out. We're going to leave that side open. That way if they get up here, they can hopefully find that and go in there. And that's my update. So we're making this a quick one for the Vermibag. As I said, the fruit fly issue is not the bag's fault. This is from other things I'm doing in my basement, by the way. I don't want to blame the system when the system is working fine, but I have other foods and other things I'm doing that actually where they end up getting into these systems, and then they can multiply very quickly. And this one happens to work really well with this mesh. They seem to crawl all over this mesh, and they find their way in there, and once they're in, they just keep multiplying, and this mesh allows that breathing, so that way they can kind of get up, see light, and then go back down. I do think that with the tarp it can get better or worse depending, but I'm hoping that it leads them to that little trap we've got there in the corner. So we'll see how that works. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thank you for watching. I think we'll see how this goes. If not, we might just harvest next time and dump on top, as I've mentioned, or we'll fully empty this out and get the African night crawlers going in there and add these guys to another bin and sort of get them moving that way. So anyhow, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and let me know if you have any other suggestions for that to help get rid of the fruit flies in this type of system. So thank you for watching.